Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. We've talked a ton about the scheme. We all think Auburn's going to pass the ball more on Ball State this Saturday, and we'll get to that at the end of the offensive conversation, Daryl. But as far as like who could play more and who could play less, I'm fascinated to see what they do with the receivers. Do we see more Sam Turner? Do we see Perry Thompson get at least a target? I think you're going to see more movement in the receiving core than any other position, despite Damari Alston being questionable.
Yeah, I think Cam Coleman's going to get a lot of targets because they need to get him going and get him in the flow and feed him, right? He's your stud. So I think he'll get,
Let him eat.
Exactly. I think he is going to get a ton of targets early. And then I think you're right on target. I think Perry Thompson and Sam Turner, I suspect that Singleton will be limited, and it's only because he was not 100% Friday, and we know about the perceived banged up. Just give him a good solid rest to make him come back 100%. So Turner, Thompson, I want to see Fields more. I talked about quality over quantity, and by God, did he have quality. So see him, Cam, absolutely. And I'm trying to think if there's even, look, I'm going to say this. This is the kind of game that Cameron Parks would be nice to get in the game. The walk-on that was the social media sensation when Hugh Freeze presented him with the scholarship. He's now a scholarship receiver. Give him a couple throws,
That's a good one. Yeah, and then if they get into the second half and it's as lopsided as we think it could be, who are the guys that stay on the field when there's a quarterback change? I think that'll be fun to dissect the meaning behind as well, because one, how many of the backup quarterbacks play and how often? Do Ashton and Deuce play the same amount? Like, what does that look like? Because I don't want Deuce out there like with all backups. I'd like to see Deuce out there at least throwing to Perry and Turner, guys who we think will be starters in this program. I'm excited to see like what exactly that looks like.
That's a good point. I think they'll let him throw to Cam, maybe a couple of routes. We want to see him go get it.
You think Deuce will throw to Cam Coleman?
I think there might be a series, and when Deuce comes in, that Cam Coleman stays on the field to see what kind of rapport they have together in a game.
Man, that'd be electric. I don't think there's any shot that happens, but it would be electric.
It'd be nice. I think, and then, does he change centers? Because that's such a important position, snap of the ball. I would change the whole offensive line. And that's not only because I'd want to see the first string get I have that much confidence in the second string offensive line that can play and make a difference. So, I think you're probably right. It'll probably be a complete flip, and you'll probably see Turner and Thompson and some of those guys out there when Deuce or Ashton are there. But I would love to see, not so much if Ashton's there, because them developing MMA chemistry is irrelevant. Ashton leaves, unless, God forbid, there was an injury. But Deuce, if you get Cam to stay another year, which I think you would, then Deuce and him next year allegedly should be, if Jackson Arnold moves on to the NFL, there's just possibilities everywhere that they could have to develop rapport and hook up. And so I'd like to see that initially.
Yeah. Then, you mentioned like platooning the offensive line. Would love to see Broderick Scholl. Would love to see Ty Buster. Would love to see DeAndre Carter. Interesting to see who they put at center. Is it Dylan Cinda? Is it Cale Ellis, the early enrollee? I'm high on a lot of these dudes, and so it'd be fun to see what they look like, because now we've got a year before a lot of those guys are really going to have to be a part of the equation.
Tyler Johnson, Seth Wilford. You've got guys. Yeah.
Keeps going. Yeah. As far as the play calling differences, like the assumption is they're going to throw it more. I don't see the downside to throwing it more. I don't want Jackson to get hit. I don't really want our running backs to get hit unless it's like Darrell or Omar, because it seems like those guys aren't going to get as many of the like relevant touches that we might have thought at one point based off of one game. A lot can change, but I don't, especially if Damari plays very little to none at all, I don't want a full load to go towards Cobb, because there's no reason for him to get hit 10 times. There's no reason for it. So I'd like to see more of a running back rotation. And then I want to see Jackson throwing the football because I don't want him carrying the ball, 8 times in the first half against Ball State, which Ball is not a state.
I want to see Jackson Arnold not keep it, but for a few times on RPOs. I want to see Jeremiah Cobb maybe get 7 carries at the most. All the running backs combined, I don't want to see more than 20 carries. Give Darrell 7 or 8. Give Omar 6 or 7. You know what I'm saying? It's 5 or 6. And then let Ashton Daniels come in if you're going to do any quarterback runs. Let him run some instead of Jackson. Just keep defenses honest. And then let Deuce, when he comes in, just air it out. And I don't want to see, like I said, the running backs carry it more than 20 times collectively Saturday for a couple of reasons. And I don't want Austin to get a carry at all. I want him carrying.
You wouldn't play Damari.
I want him carrying a towel around his neck and a bottle of water is the only thing I want to see him carrying on the sideline Saturday, period.
Got it.
There's no need. If you can't beat Ball State, Cobb can get 7 or 8 carries, and he can go for 50, 60 yards with those carries. Let Omar get in there and eat. Let Darrell Robinson get some carries. And you're going to be working on the passing game anyway. So, yeah, there's no need. There is no need.
I'm with you.